Hey, it's Dean here from the Workshop Whisperer, just shooting this short training for you because all too often, we're talking to auto repair shop owners, maybe people like yourself, who are feeling, really overbooked inside their auto repair shop. They're feeling overworked with the amount of jobs the growing number of jobs that they're seeing pop up day to day. And ultimately, the feeling of this is that they end up feeling really, really overwhelmed, right? And it's not a great feeling to be overwhelmed, but it's an important feeling because it's one that, if dealt with in the correct manner, actually allows us to move through that feeling of frustration, that feeling of irritation, that sense of anguish, but helps us to improve the way that our entire business operates. Of course, if it's not dealt with correctly and you consistently find yourself being overbooked, overworked, or overwhelmed, then what it's going to lead to is where a really deep sense of procrastination, where in a sense you start to feel stuck between the poor decisions that you felt you've made in the past, or perhaps the opportunities that you let slip you by in the past, but also this impending sense of worry, of anxiety, that the future is just not going to get any better, that it just isn't going to improve for you. So ultimately, when you experience that sense of frustration, it actually means you play really small. You won't make the crucial decisions. You won't implement the vital strategies that are going to take you out of this place of procrastination and move you beyond that point of being overbooked, overworked, or overwhelmed. Now, on the flip side, there are so many things that you could be focusing on inside your auto repair shop. We've got 9 business accelerators that we focus on, with the clients inside the engine room. But there's 3 fundamental things you need to be focused on at any stage of your auto repair shop, that are going to help you build the kind of momentum, the kind of motion, and the kind of mentality that's going to help you produce a profitable, scalable, and sustainable auto repair shop. And those 3 fundamental accelerators are your pricing, your productivity, and your profitability. And all too often, when we start working with clients in the engine room, the workshop pricing is too low. Unequivocally, it's too low. They might be using the recommended retail price of the supplier, but that price will mean nothing in the context of your business, your market, and your workmanship. Their productivity will be lower than they think it is. It's often a case that workshop owner will believe that their team's productivity is higher than it actually is, in terms of hours being written off or jobs taking too long. And then thirdly, it's profitability. They have no idea about their numbers. Gross profit, true net profit are just words. They don't. There's not a formula behind them for calculating where they sit. But when you can focus on your pricing, your productivity and profitability, as I said, it really builds that momentum that you want to take through into a profitable, sustainable, and scalable auto repair shop. Now, there is there's a reason why whenever you're driving a car, the front windscreen of a car is this big, but a rear view mirror is this big. It's because, yes, the bulk of your time when you are driving the day-to-day operations of your auto repair shop, you need to be, you have to be focused forward. You need to keep your eyes on the road ahead, hands on the wheel. But for a small amount of time, you need to pause and you need to take a look in the rearview mirror just to see how far you've come or what still needs to be done in order to straighten out the road ahead of you and really speed up the momentum inside your auto repair shop. And if you're always, if you've always got your head under the bonnet, if you're always saying yes to every single customer, if you're always booking in that one more job, it's a vicious loop where you keep bringing yourself back to that point of being, overbooked, overworked, and overwhelmed. So we need to take some time to really to pause and look in that rearview mirror. So if we're going to take some time out of what I'm assured is an otherwise busy day, busy week, busy month, busy quarter, busy year perhaps, there's three really important questions we want to start asking ourselves, as the owner of the business, as the person who really has the single biggest influence over the direction of your auto repair shop, and ultimately, is going to have the largest impact on not just your future, but perhaps your family's future or the families of the people who are working for you, the team that you've got around you. And those three questions are really quite simple. They are, where are you now compared to what you want? What do you need to get there? And what can you offer your team to move closer towards that target? So let's just go through each one at a time, right? The first is, where are you now compared to what you want, right? This is really establishing point A and point B, okay? If point B is what you want, right, that's the goal you're going after. And little clue, if you don't have a goal that you're chasing, then anything will do, right? Goals are the ways we keep scoring a game, and running a business is like a game, right? You need to create a healthy sense of competition in order to build a sense of tension that's going to make you move. So the first question, where are you now compared to what you want, is about you establishing your point A, where you are, and your point B, where you want to be, okay? And then over a distinct period of time, be it, a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever it might be, it's you learning to track your progress in relation to the line between those 2 points, A and B, right? The further away you are from that line, then the bigger the problems you're going to have to resolve. But this is really taking a snapshot of where you are in time, right? There is no right or wrong way, there's no right or wrong place to be. There is simply just, where you are and where you want to go. So by asking the question, where are you now compared to what you want, it is just giving you a snapshot in time of where your business currently sits. Now, that might be in terms of your finances. It might be in terms of your team members. It might be in terms of your marketing. It might be in terms of your pricing. And there's a range of measures and metrics that we use to help you establish where you are. But from your perspective, you need to consider what position are you in right now, and is that close to or far away from what you actually want? That's the first point that you need to establish, the first question you need to be asking yourself. Once you've got a clear measure of that position in mind, then the next question to ask yourself is, well, what do you need to get to what you want? What do you need to get there? Is it better training? Is it more leads? Is it improved skill set? In terms of, maybe it's the way that you estimate work. Maybe it's the way that you maximize the repair order. Maybe it's the way that you follow up with your customers. Maybe it's the way that you review your prices. Maybe it's the way that you track your expenses. Whatever it is, take stock, take some time to consider and write down what are the things, the resources that you need to get you to what you want, right? If we can establish, the gap between where we are and what we want, then we can actually put in place, some proven strategies and some battle-tested tactics that are going to move you along, right? Really quite simple. And then the third question you need to ask yourself, again, as the owner of the business, as the the leader of your team, really as the manager of your results, is what can you offer your team to move closer to that target? Right? We practice extreme ownership inside the engine room. Life never happens to us. Life only ever happens for us. Whereas one of my mentors famously said, Dean, nothing changes around you until something changes within you. So this is about you stepping up, accepting 100% responsibility for where the business currently sits. This can be a hard pill to swallow, Some of you, might be feeling a level of discomfort right now, even as I say that, you are 100% responsible for the current results you're experiencing in your business. Yet it is only through the acceptance of that everything around us is us, that nothing changes around you till something changes within you, that you can even begin to put in place, the systems, the processes, the principles that are going to guide your business from where you are to what you truly want. And by you, that may, of course, include you, your family, your team, and your future. So what can you offer your team to move closer? Is it better leadership? Is it clearer communication? Is it more consistency in your messaging or in your training of your team? Is it healthier relationships with your customers, with your suppliers? Maybe it's backing your team in. And when there's difficult customers or clients that they're having to engage with, that you are stepping in a supportive and strengthening way to really show them how much you care about them. Maybe it's letting go of the super talented technician who just is a problem when it comes to team cohesiveness and workplace culture. Whatever it is, think about what can you offer to move your team closer. Now, of course, if the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result, then in order to move beyond your current position in your business, then you need to be willing to do something different or do something differently. Now, how big does that change need to be? It really doesn't matter. That will depend largely on your own personal beliefs, your own personal expectations, your own personal experiences. But if you do not believe that anything can be done differently, then you will remain stuck where you are. And I say that without apology, and I say that without hesitation, because the first thing that needs to change, if the results in your workplace are going to change, will be your attitude towards change. And you may very well have done many, many, many things, but again, experience has shown us that it's doing the right things in the right way at the right time. So, it's the sequence, the series of steps that you take that is going to start to build that momentum for you and see you, running, a profitable, scalable, and sustainable auto repair shop. And really, one of the things, probably one of the most common things that we see, clients of ours do different or do differently is that they start to dedicate time to work on their business, i.e., the profitable growth of their auto repair shop becomes an ongoing priority. It's not something that happens as an afterthought. It's not something that's squeezed in amongst everything else. It's not something that's just left till the last minute, at the end of, usually at the end of the financial year, when you're wondering how things have gone, or, around, Christmas time, the new year, when you're reflecting on what's happened and wondering, you're really, really wishing, waiting, or wondering if, the year ahead is going to be any better than the one that you've just had. The single biggest change that the clients make is that they dedicate time to working on their business. Now, are they still doing work in their business? Absolutely they are, right? There's work that still needs to be done. There's jobs that still need to get out. There's teams that still need to be led, coached, and managed. Yet, in amongst all that, the clients inside the engine that do incredibly well, they make a decision, they make a choice to dedicate time from their week to working on the profitable growth of their business. So they're reviewing their pricing, right? They're reviewing their pricing. They'll be looking at their margins, their markups consistently. They're monitoring their expenses to see where they are at in relation to industry standards, industry benchmarks. They're meeting with their team regularly, daily in many cases, to track, measure, and discuss productivity. And for anyone out there that thinks that's micromanaging, micromanagement is for losers, accountability is for winners. And the kind of team members that love to win love to know what the goals look like. They love to know where the goalposts are. They love to know what a win looks like for them. And finally, they're measuring profitability on every single job, every single day, knowing the only reason you would ever go into business for yourself is to make a profit. Growth is one thing, profitable growth is an entirely different thing again. And this is where, we monitor our profit daily. We are very, very deliberate in, what you pay yourself as the business owner. We're very careful about understanding, what debt we're carrying, or, what tax we'll be paying at the end of the year. And we start to plan for that. And finally, we are very, very determined to ensure that we're minimizing, our overheads, our outgoings, our expenses, to maximize profit for the workshop on every single job, every single time. So what are the three, in summary, what do we discuss today? Well, so often, when you find yourself overbooked, overworked, overwhelmed, you're just going to procrastinate on the decisions that need to be made to improve the positive momentum that you can feel, see, and hear inside your workshop by focusing on those three fundamental things, your pricing, your productivity, and your profitability across every single job. It's about taking that time to look, just check in the rearview mirror and look at the progress you've made, or look at the things that could still be done based on the lessons that you learned to help you smooth out the road ahead. And what are those three vital questions? You want to ask yourself, where are you now compared to what you want? Where are you really at financially, from a customer database, technically, maybe from a skills perspective, team, culture, systems, processes, whatever it might be. Then ask yourself, what do you need to get there? Maybe it's a better way to manage your finances. Maybe it's a better way to train your team. Maybe it's a better way to re-engage, cold or quiet customers. Whatever it is, what do you need to get there? And then thirdly, ask that self the question. Take a good hard look in the mirror, as they would say in the sporting world, and ask yourself, what can you offer your team to move closer to what it is that you want? Is it your leadership? Is it your communication? Is it your support? Whatever it is, make a decision to do that different or differently over the coming months and years, perhaps. And remember, if we keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result, we will eventually go insane. And then the one thing that we see time and time again is those that grow their business, in a profitable way, make a choice to take some time out of their week to spend working on their business. It's not an afterthought. It's not a last minute thing. Profitable growth is, at the forefront of their mind every single day. And, their weekly calendar, their weekly diary, their weekly schedule reflects that by having time blocked out to to work on the projects and priorities that will move the needle forward inside their auto repair shop. Now, we've got a resource here. It's called The Gap. It's going to give you a worksheet that's going to help you run through each one of those three questions. If you want a copy of that, just comment, just leave the word gap in the comment section below, and we'll have our team shoot that resource out to you. To take some time for you to spend looking in your rearview mirror, not only to celebrate how far you've come, but really to steel yourself for the road ahead. With us giving you a little bit of guidance on how you can get there to where you want a little bit quicker, a little bit sooner, and perhaps a little bit smoother than you might do by yourself. All right, guys, trust this training's been helpful, and we'll see you on another one of these trainings over the coming weeks. Bye for now.